because there is not a man, woman, person out there that could not use a shredder. You should be shredding everything, my friends. There are people out there, bad guys, their entire full-time job is to find your information, whether it's credit card statements, junk mail, old W-2s, things that you don't think about and you just toss away. Shred it, shred it, shred it. But we have never been really big on shredding because it has been difficult. Let me introduce you to a way where you can put 100 sheets of all of the things that you need to shred and walk away. This is no maintenance, no oil sheets, no anything. Comes to you fully assembled. There is not a reason not to get this. It is Microcut. We're going to tell you why that is super important. It's a 4.5 gallon bin, which means we're not going to have to dump it as often as we used to. And how about I get it down to the lowest price we have ever done? It is under $100. We're doing free shipping and handling. So what is that on FlexPay? It's $20. Let's pick a color. Let's grab a few for us, for our family members. This is the beautiful one we're calling Snow White. That's appropriate. In the middle is my brick red. And furthest from me is the jet black. Yes, credit cards, yes, staples, and yes, it is on wheels, Erin, because they always ask if it's on wheels, because I think that's important. We want to move and groove with this baby.
That's right. You want to be easy to just kind of push it out of the way when you're not using it. More importantly, you want it to be really easy and really effective when you are using it. Let's talk about it. HP is the #1 computer manufacturer in America, the #1 printer manufacturer in America. We depend on HP for all of our home office needs. You might not have woken up this morning and thought, oh, I'm gonna buy a shredder today. Might not have been the very first thing you thought of when you jumped out of bed, but your future self will thank you for it. If you can protect yourself, if you can protect your family from identity theft, you are really getting ahead of the game. Tina will tell you a story a little bit later. She's got one of the wildest identity theft stories I've ever heard, and I've heard a lot of them. Some of the things I love about this shredder, you mentioned the casters already, so the fact that it's on wheels make it really convenient. What I'm showing you right now is called the manual slot in the front. You can put, I've got a couple pages I'm putting in at the same time. You can do up to 10 pages at the same time. So this is a really powerful and it's a really effective shredder. It's a Microcut shredder. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, but here, I'll give you kind of a preview. What it means is this is shredding things to tiny little particles. So you don't have to worry about anyone being able to sort of piece back that information. It's a really complete, it's a really thorough shred. So there is the manual feeder in the front. Again, up to here, I'll just fold this page in half just to kind of give you the idea. Up to 10 pages at a time, so you can shred a lot in there. And it's not just paper. This is a big thing. We get a lot of bonus cards, we get a lot of credit cards, those sort of things in the mail. It's nice to be able to pop those directly in, and right there through that slot in the front, I just put a credit card in. I'll do another one just to kind of make the point. And I've heard this from so many hosts, and I think it's funny. This was not the job that I had at my father's office. I had other jobs, cleaning the baseboards, you know, that kind of thing. But many people have said, oh, you know, my grandfather's office, I used to have to go and take the staples out of the pages before it went through the shredder. Yeah, which is true. A lot of shredders won't do this. I just put a couple of staples in there just to kind of make the point to you. Again, in that front slot, that manual slot, that will shred through staples as well. But I've been saving the best part. This is the best part. This has an auto document feeder on it, and it's probably the fastest shredder I've ever sold. We'll prove that in a few minutes, so stay tuned for that. But look, with an auto document shredder, you can put up to 100 sheets in here at the same time. So you've got full file folders of, you know, your mortgages from the early 2000s and et cetera, the payments you made over the years. You don't have to shred those one at a time, two at a time, three at a time. You've got an auto-doc feeder, so it does all the work for you.
Fully assembled out of the box.
Fully assembled out of the box.
No oil sheets, no maintenance, no nothing.
No ma'am.
Jam-free rollers, all the things we used to hate about the shredders of the past,
That's right? That's right.
If you have a shredder, upgrade your shredder, because we're gonna talk about how when you start getting into Microcut, again, there are full people of bad guys out there, that's their whole job. Do you have receipts? Are you George Costanza? Do you have like a wallet full of receipts and it's so bulky, right? What do you do with all those receipts? Do you just have bins and file folders and basements and attics full of all of these papers and you know you don't want to throw them away? Because listen, if you're getting stuff and this is your idea of security, they're waiting for that, right? Do you take your expired credit cards, your debit cards, and then you just clip it once with your scissors and throw that away? What are we doing? Oh my goodness, they're waiting for that, right? Whether it's for you, it's for anybody in your life, a shredder is not just, oh, you got a shredder. It is security. It is being able to clean out boxes and get rid of everything and be like, okay, I know I have done this in the best way to do it. So I want to remind you, HP, this isn't a name we don't know. This is like top in the electronics world. Microcut, Erin's going to explain why you want to upgrade to a Microcut. This is one that is the best deal we have done on this Microcut 100 auto sheet shredder. We've taken $50 off. Let us ship it to you for free. You can direct ship it to somebody as a gift as well. And it's $20 today on a FlexPay. $20 free shipping. You're already shredding, Erin.
That's right.
You're already clearing it out and saying, not today, bad guys.
Yeah, you know, you're, as I said, you're doing your future self a favor.
Yes.
Talk about the gift for somebody who has everything. You know, I know a lot of guys are hard to buy for. Everybody needs a shredder. College students need a shredder. Retired folks need a shredder. Across the board, every adult needs a shredder. I'll just take a moment here to show you a couple of things. It's just 7:35 on the East Coast. I know a lot of you guys are kind of waking up, grabbing a cup of coffee and going, what's going on here? We've got the best value we've done on an HP Microcut. That's key. Shredder. You see the Autodock feeder is working away. Something to note, while the Autodock feeder is working away, you can still be using the manual slot. So maybe you've got file folders to sort of go through, but you still need to also check for your mail and that kind of stuff, all at the same time. That's how powerful and that's how fast the shredder is. I want to take a minute, you know, Tina and I are out here telling you it's really important to shred your things. It's important for your personal safety, for your, certainly for your identity theft information. It's not just us. It's not just Tina's opinion. It's not just Erin's opinion. It's the federal government that says this is really what we need to do. This is one of the best ways to protect our identity. In fact, this is exactly what the Federal Trade Commission says. Quote, there are many steps consumers can take to minimize their risk of being an identity theft victim. For example, consumers should closely guard their social security number and should shred charge receipts, should shred copies of credit applications, and should shred other sensitive documents. There it is. If you want to protect yourself, shred it. When should we shred it? I'm glad you asked. We've got some guidelines on when to shred things as well. Right away, basically you want to immediately shred ATM and sales receipts.
Yes.
Credit card statements. You want to shred credit card offers and paid utility bills right away. And then after the first year, you'll see another either left panel or full page still pop up here. After up to a year, you want to shred pay stubs, bank statements, and paid undisputed medical bills. And then after 7 years, you basically want to shred everything. If you've got old tax forms, if you've got old 1099s, you'll see another still pop up for you here. If you've got old K1s, yeah, there it is. After 7 years, if you've got it, you want to shred it. I want to do two things really quickly, if I may. I want to talk through just a brief history of shredding, and then, oh, actually 3 things. Let's do this first. I haven't showed you one of the best features. Would you be kind enough to help me, my dear? Thank you so much. Okay, when it's time to empty your shredder, and this is not found on, this is probably on half of the shredders or less. It's a really nice feature.
Watch this, watch.
Look at that's kind of something about it is a magic moment. Ready? This has a little
trapdoor.
Yeah, a little trapdoor at the bottom. That's how easy it is. So you don't have to kind of mess and fuss around with making, because these are small shreds. It's easy for them to get everywhere, frankly. With a trapdoor, it's just boom, boom, and it's emptied. I think that's a really nice, smart feature, right? Thank you for your help. That's very kind of you. Actually, 3 other quick things. I forgot to point this out, and this is a really nice feature too. Tina and I both have young kids in the house. If you have young kids or you have pets or whatever, there's this really nice safety feature where it will not shred unless the bin is all the way in. So if somebody comes up and pulls the bin out, the shredding stops automatically, so that means the blades stop automatically, which is really just a nice little safety feature, okay? 2 other quick things. Quick history of shredding here.
Okay, I want you to think about the last time you shredded with that shredder you bought a decade ago, right? You're like, Tina, I got a shredder. Watch why you should get today's shredder, even if you have one.
So, I mean, many people still will buy a this is called a strip cut shredding. So this is sort of our early shredding technology, again, still available. With strip cut shredding, it, you know, cuts everything into strips, but the problem is it also leaves really long lines of information. Well, as you said earlier, Tina, the folks that want your info are really good at getting it. That's not gonna stop them. So that is strip cut shredding. Then we got cross cut shredding, and cross cut, much as its name suggests, would take that strip and would cut it crosswise. And again, It was a better solution for sure, but you can still read, at least, look, there's 8 digits on there that you can read very, very clearly. So if that cut falls in the wrong place, you're in trouble. Now we have Microcut. Microcut is such a step forward because the shreds are so tiny. So there's just very little, if any, information that could be ascertained from that. You would need, a microscope and super glue and tweezers, and you get the idea. Microcut is just a really, really good solution. The other thing about this shredder specifically is it's so darn fast. To that point, we're gonna pop up a 30-second clock, and we'll see how many shreds I can do in 30 seconds. So my director's gonna let me know when the 30-second clock is up because I don't wanna be accused of cheating. We get to start right now. Financial information. Number 1 is out of here. Utility bills. Number 2, those are taken care of. Your tax documents after 7 years, that's 3. 4 is junk mail. I talk fast. 5 is personal information. I can barely keep up with it. 6, your medical records are gone. 7, your credit card statements and offers are gone. 8, your financial information is out of here. 9, your utility bills. We've got 10 seconds left. 10, your tax documents are out of here. 11, your junk mail. 12, your personal information. 4 seconds. 13, your medical records. I think I got through a solid 13, nearly 14.
I think this may be the fastest shredder we've ever presented together.
It's certainly the fastest I've ever sold.
To be honest, we play that game.
We usually get to 8.
8, right?
We got
let me tell you all my story in the last few moments, because it's a very true story, and I learned my lesson the hard way at an early age, and I want to pass that on to you. In my 20s, sleeping, bank calls, asking me if I'm staying at this really fancy resort and spending several $100s a night. I didn't make any money. That wasn't me. I don't know what I would be doing there. Called the police. Myself and the police go to this fancy resort where Tina Jennings is staying there for an entire week. Wow. I personally got to go up to the room where Tina Jennings was staying. I saw the person that was using my credit card. They asked me if I knew her. I did not, so I have no idea how she got my information. She had bags, and they would dump it out, and there would be checks with other people's names on it, cards with different people's names on it. And for a very, very long time, every time she was in and out of jail, I would get a victim call to let me know that she was doing that. When I say bad guys, when I say there's people that have a whole full-time job looking for your information, it took me a very long time to get that money back into my account. Make sure what else she had information of mine. I learned a lesson in my 20s, and I have been shredding ever since. Don't let that be you. Snow White, brick red, jet black, $20 in free shipping to get it home from HP. So I want to make sure you take advantage of this for you or for a loved one. Let me get this down an additional $40 if that's what's kind of holding you up. If you open up